everyone. This video is going to be me just talking about a little bit of my trip to Cuba. So it's mostly for me to remember what were the interesting things that I saw in Cuba, I think. So I wrote something and I'm just going to explain a little bit of it. I went to Veradero, Cuba. I can't say it in that Spanish way because I'm not very good at rolling those R's, unfortunately. So it is in the province of Matanzas. That's what the province is called, and in Spanish it means slaughter. So you can Google on why it's called slaughter. It's quite interesting. The tour guide said a little bit of it, but I didn't understand completely what she said, so you can Google it. Havana has the highest population density in Cuba. Well, it's the capital of Cuba too. And then in Matanzas, it's kind of pretty low in terms of population density because there's a lot of resorts and stuff. So Veradero is kind of like on the peninsula of Cuba. So all the resorts or hotels are lined along a peninsula, and it kind of borders that Atlantic Ocean side. Interestingly enough, apparently 50% of tourists to Veradero are Canadian. And I'm not sure about Havana or other cities, but basically it does make sense. Flying from Toronto or Montreal to Veradero is only 3 hours. So it's pretty good. But basically Cuban currency is useless outside of Cuba as of now, until now, you know? So basically the flight that I was on, there was a champagne service that gave out a mimosa. So it's like champagne mixed with a little bit of orange juice. It tasted okay. Nothing too fancy. And then when I got to the hotel, they gave us a flute of champagne too. So I don't know, it's just a lot of alcohol all around. It's like I've never ever drank so much in like a week. It's just alcohol after alcohol. That first night I was there, I went to the buffet to eat dinner, and I didn't really know how the system worked because I wasn't sure am I supposed to get the cook to cook the pasta or whatever. So I went to the pasta place, and then I was like, okay, I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know what to do. So then I asked this lady around just waiting for the food, and I'm like, oh, can you please explain to me how I'm supposed to get the food? Like, do I have to ask him or something? Then it's this lady who speaks French, and she said, oh, sorry, she said this in French. She's like, sorry, I'm not that good at English. And then I was like, oh, well, it's okay, I understand some French. Yeah, so I said that, and she's like, she started explaining the rest in French, and I was like, oh yeah, I get it, thank you. So yeah, I actually understood what she said. So that was pretty good. Like, my studying paid off. Like, the first night I was in Cuba, I was like, yes, I got the French down, I know it, I can understand. And the beach was really nice. It's literally like whitish sand, blue waters, mostly calm waves, but near the end of my vacation the waves got stronger. And I ate a lot of mangoes, oh, so good. Oh my gosh, I miss the mangoes, honestly. And I did meet some people from Montreal. They were very nice. That's very cool, and we talked about McGill and stuff, and like job prospects. So it was like a pretty good vacation, being able to meet some other Canadians. A lot of the places around the hotel don't have air conditioning. There's air conditioning in their room, but in the restaurants and stuff, a lot of them it's like no air conditioning or it's super weak. So I did a lot of sweating, which I mean, it's not bad. It's kind of uncomfortable, but I mean, it's good for the detox of your skin, right? And it was super hot. It averaged around 32 degrees Celsius throughout the whole week. Kind of humid. I mean, it's not as bad as Hong Kong, but it's still humid. My favorite thing though was definitely looking for the cats and dogs around the resort. They have these like resident cats around the hotel, so they just walk everywhere. And honestly, that's the only thing I look forward to the most during my hotel like stay. And some were really friendly, and if you get to see my pictures, you'll see that I went to look for those cats, and they were very cute. I repeat that I did drink a lot more alcohol this week. That week I was in Cuba. It's very not my character. So those are the main points of my Cuba trip. But when I flew home, on my flight home, there was this little baby sitting in front of me with his parents. He was blonde hair, blue eyes, and he had like the cutest smile. And when his mom would hold the baby, like the baby would be looking back at me, he would smile at me and I would smile back, and it was like, oh my gosh, it was the sweetest smile ever. It was such a cute baby. He was very popular on the flight. The people walking to go to the washrooms would always stop to see the baby because the baby was so cute. Gosh, I'm so glad I got to stay in that seat. Honestly, he was so adorable. One more story. On the Havana trip, there was a group of like Chinese people. So when we were walking to the lunch area, one of the ladies tripped and sprained her ankle, and she sprained it pretty bad, so she couldn't really move because it hurt, so she couldn't put weight on it at all. And then so after the lunch, we all had to go back to the bus anyway, so they were figuring out how we're gonna get this lady back on the bus. So then basically the bus driver was like, while they were contemplating this, bus driver is just like, okay, why don't I just like lift her to the bus? So he just like lifts her all the way to the bus and carries her all the way. And like after those group of Chinese people were like talking about it, like these are middle-aged like men and women, like they're like at least 40 something, right? And then they're just like speaking to each other in Cantonese about this event, and one lady jokingly said, wow, lucky you got a young, handsome, muscular man to lift you. Remember this? So they're saying this all in Cantonese. And then another teasing her said, oh, what will happen when you get back to the hotel? How will you walk up to the 3rd floor? You know what you should do? Just look around the hotel to see if there are any young, handsome, muscular guys and tell them that you're hurt. Ask them to help you. Alright, so thank you for watching my video. I hope you had a good overview on what I did in Cuba this summer, and see you next time. Stay classy.